Whew, so as you can see, I've been having a lot of fun on the new Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, and I had this idea to race around the Daytona International Speedway, kind of doing like the Daytona 500, except not 500 laps, but with an airplane. And I really wanted to try something cinematic. I feel like this new simulator is finally, it's combining everything that I love for the first time, like gaming, flying airplanes, traveling, talking to you guys, and filmmaking, being able to craft cinematic videos. I had a lot of fun making that video. It was a lot of work. Now let's go fly, let's take off, go to the Speedway, talk about some of the things that I had to do to create the video. Runway 25 right now, and the extra 330 LT, and the Speedway is literally like right across the way. See, I'll zoom out here. It's located right next door to the Speedway, so you can see the Speedway here in the background. So very conveniently right there. Let's take off here. Pedals are extremely sensitive on this airplane, the rudders, so I need to turn the sensitivity down even more and start trimming it off. So that's something to keep in mind. If you fly the extra, the pedals are extremely sensitive, a little oversensitive. So I would go to the settings, turn down the sensitivity. Let me pause it real quick. I can show you how to do that here. You would just go to controls in the menu, and then you can go to your rudder. Well, some of this is for the brakes, so you got to figure out which one is the right rudder axis. So that's joystick L, axis Z, right? So that's this one. And as you can see, I've already taken the sensitivity down a lot. I'm gonna go down to like -84%. And that's just gonna help this airplane be a little more realistic. Yeah, that's much better. It's crazy. So, as you can see, hitting up the Speedway here, and I just left it full throttle the whole time, and you can just stay along the track. It's almost like a Red Bull extra race, you know? As you can see, a lot of it's like not registering properly with the actual track. It just drops off and creates a wall instead of having the track there. So still a ways to go with this. I'm sure someone will come out with upgraded scenery for all the issues that everyone's having. All the things that are missing will eventually be updated. And we're just racing around the track here. So pretty sweet. And I would cut to different camera angles. And some angles are a lot harder to fly in than others. This one was one of the easier ones to fly in as far as camera angles go. And some of them were just extremely difficult to control the airplane. So I'd have to pretty much set up the drone cam like where I wanted the drone cam to be. And then right before the airplane was gonna go by that spot, I would cut to the drone cam and try to get that few seconds that I wanted. Now we're going straight up here. I'm gonna acknowledge the frequency change, even though in reality, there would be no frequency change here because we're still right by the airport. So the ATC, there's still a lot of things that need to be worked out because you wouldn't have a frequency change until you were leaving the airspace. I wasn't really leaving the airspace. I'm like right next to the airport, but you wouldn't be doing this in real life anyway. You wouldn't have permission to race around the Daytona International Speedway in a stunt plane. One of the things you could do is try to trim off the airplane so that when you're not even pulling back on the turn, it just turns, you know, when you let go of the stick. And then when you're going straight, not angled into a turn like that, you're actually going to be pushing down on the stick to stay down. This helped with one of the some of the shots that I needed. Like I could just let go right here, and I need to trim it a little more, but I could just let go of the stick and it'll turn while I cut to another shot, like while I cut to the drone cam. So I'm gonna land here and show you what I'm talking about. And they did a beautiful job creating this for the most part. It's just not quite in as much detail as you'd like it to be, but it's pretty sweet. I'm gonna bleed off a little more. Hit up this grass spot right here. Bouncing all over the place. Just want to get the airplane down, sorry. Throw on the brakes and come to a stop. Now, this is an example of something that I had to do to get a shot, right? I took my drone cam. You've got different modes here. I'm using an Xbox controller for it, which is freaking awesome. And you got some different modes here, like lock mode. So that locks the camera there. And then follow mode is gonna follow the airplane, where the camera's gonna follow the airplane. So I start with turning both of those off. You can turn up the speed to get where you wanna go. All right, and so let's plan on actually going around to this turn over here, because it's gonna take me, I gotta take off and get some speed, and then we'll end up over here. I'm gonna find a shot right here, for example. Just say, okay, that's a cool shot. Get the airplane coming and hearing the sound effect of it zooming by. And then you wanna make sure that follow mode and lock mode are off. None of this matters. This is gonna be a locked off static shot. So all we have to do is go back to the airplane now and actually just take off. And then we're gonna cut to this drone cam when we get to that section. And using the recording software, it's gonna be recording everything. It'll be recording that shot. I'm getting so much lag on the recording software. I'll have to check that out. It's so smooth on my computer. It's just an OBS thing. Anyway, so I'm gonna get ready for the turn, and then I have my other hand ready to cut to that shot when we're going by, which will be right about here. Okay, so as you can see, just had a major crash. Even if you're not flying the airplane for just 2 or 3 seconds doing something like this, there's a good chance you're gonna crash. So as you can see, it was extremely difficult to get those shots, very time consuming, but it was a fun challenge, you know, to be able to try to make a video like that without a replay feature. And when there is a replay feature, I'll be able to do a lot more. So I'm gonna go into slew mode. If you don't know about slew mode, it's just Y. Then you can actually move the airplane around using the numpad. So it will make the airplane upright again, and then hit Y again, and now you're out of slew mode. Another thing you can do is you can, in slew mode, is you can rotate the plane, which I didn't mean to do, like that. But you can also turn it like this. So it looks like we're, okay, got some room to take off here. I took off the HUD when I was filming the video. Let's put them back on. Let's see, it should be under General, Camera, Chase Camera. That's where I turn the HUD off. Let's turn that back on. Resume. Now I've got our HUD back. Now let's take back off. All right, so Daytona International Speedway. As you can see, they did a really good job. I'm gonna slow down. They even have some signage here where it says Daytona, which is pretty cool. All the little details. They did a pretty good job for the most part. I'm getting so much lag from recording video. I really gotta figure this out. I'm just gonna bring everything down to medium and see what happens. Maybe that'll help. Even medium settings look so good, you know? So this could be a really fun place to get on with some friends and race around the track. You're gonna have some pretty epic wipeouts. Whoa. Upside down. To buzz the tower upside down. Let's get it trimmed off here. Climb up a little bit as we head toward the beach. And then if your drone cam gets stuck, I know on the Xbox controller you just hit A and X together. That'll go back to the airplane. So that's pretty cool. And I am excited to do some more realistic flights for you guys, so expect that soon. I just really enjoyed making these videos that I'm not able to do in a real airplane. So I hope you enjoyed that little video I made of the Extra. To be honest, I didn't really have much interest in flying an Extra until I had this idea to race around and this track and stuff, and it's a fun airplane. I mean, there's a lot you could do with it. In the simulator, it's a great airplane. All right, so now we got Daytona Beach here. Let's get you a better view of it. There we go. If anyone's from Daytona Beach, this one's for you. And right down here, we're gonna come up on the Ponce Inlet and the lighthouse, which I think, do they actually put the lighthouse there? We're gonna see what this was rendered as. I'll make sure I'll turn up the graphics just so that we have an accurate depiction here. I need to see if this lighthouse is there or not. In St. Augustine, where I live, they did not do the St. Augustine lighthouse yet. For some reason, it just didn't render. Oh, they did a pretty good job. The lighthouse is there. Well, that's cool. So they did a pretty good job with that. Wow, okay. Nice. I don't know why St. Augustine's lighthouse isn't there, but this one, like, clearly they paid attention to. So you can see the lighthouse, Ponce Lighthouse, and the inlet, and then New Smyrna, and there's an airport right over here that's actually just kind of goes into the Daytona's Class C, so it can be kind of complicated in real life. I've done an approach in a New Smyrna, and I had to transition from Daytona's Class C to New Smyrna's Class D. It is a controlled Class D. So normally we would be on Daytona approach right now because we'd still be in their airspace. But let's just pretend like we're not in their airspace, and we're just gonna do a VFR approach into New Smyrna Beach. So one of the best things you can do if you're unfamiliar with an airport is pull up an airport diagram. Just Google airport diagram for the airport you want to know. It's going to have a ton of useful information like the runways and frequencies for the radio. And then let's tune to New Smyrna Beach's ATIS, get the information.
76 at 7. Visibility 7. Sky condition, few clouds at 1,100 feet. Temperature 15. Dew point 1 tree. Altimeter 29.92. Visual runway 29er in use. Landing and departing runway 29er. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact you have Sierra.
Now let's just request a full stop landing and see what they say.
Extra Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra New Smyrna Beach Tower. Make left base runway 29er. Altimeter 29er.9er to wind 276 at 7. Extra X-Ray Golf Sierra cleared to land runway 29er. Wind 276.
Alright, so they want us to make a left. Oh, just changed his mind. Okay, so they were gonna have us make a left base, which means we would have had to go all the way around and enter a left base at 45 degrees, but now they're saying we could just land on runway 9. Or runway 29. Alright, so we know that we're gonna be coming in on a heading of 290. And that should be it right there. That's gonna be runway 29. And we've been cleared to land. Now, one thing that the ATCs need some work on this, and I'm probably going to use VASM instead. For example, when you're reporting to the tower, one thing that was not mentioned was the altitude. You would have said Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra is 7 miles to the east with Tango at 1,000 for full stop landing, or you could just say for a full stop runway. And then so that's just one thing that wasn't included, was they didn't say they don't say the altitude. You should tell them the altitude that you're at. All right, let's come in, do a nice little landing here, taxi, and that'll be it for the video. Hope you guys go check out the Daytona International Speedway, have some fun on that at some point. So that can be a lot of fun. There we go. Got a tiny bit of a bounce there, but that's okay. They're probably going to tell us to exit the next taxiway. Remember, don't use much brake when you're in a tail dragger until you slow down enough. We don't want to exit the runway on a runway though, unless we're told. We just crossed over a runway, you don't want to exit onto a runway. Unless you request, like, you know, can I exit on runway 2 or whatever. In this case, let's just go down to the next taxiway. Boy, does it help a lot to have the sensitivity down with the pedals. Alright, now we're going to go to ground. I'm going to make sure that we completely clear the line here. Once we've cleared the line, then that's when you can stop. And let's go taxi to parking.
Extra Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra taxi to general aviation parking by taxiway Alpha Delta cross runway 20 Delta Echo.
We're going to use Alpha and then Delta, and we're going to cross runway 20 Delta intersection and Echo intersection. This is where you're going to go back to your airport diagram, where we exited all the way down here to the right. So we're on Bravo now. When he said to taxi to general parking, which is going to be over here, using Alpha and Delta. But basically we're going to make a right, cross 20, and then a left onto Delta, and cross Echo over to parking over here. So it can be kind of confusing, I know. All right, so let's begin our taxi. We're going to make a right here. Normally you want to taxi at about walking speed, so probably going a little fast, and stay center line. And then in a tail dragger you can do S turns if you need to. Make sure you're not going to hit anything, which should be like this. This is how you'd actually taxi. Now we're crossing 20, like you said. On Alpha. Doing some S turns. And that way we can see. If you go to the cockpit, helps you be able to see. You have to kind of like lean your head a little bit. It's probably supposed to turn back there. The taxiway instructions can be confusing. You can also have assistance if you want. just go to assistance. And then you can do navigation aids. Taxi ribbon on.
Extra X-ray Golf Sierra, continue taxi.
All right, so he said hold position, then he said continue taxi.
Roger, Extra X-ray Golf Sierra.
There's some vehicles. Normally you wouldn't, it's not very often you'd be waiting on a vehicle though. Normally the vehicles wait on the airplane. Now it's showing us where we can park. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little flight. Did a nice little approach into New Smyrna Beach. Checked out a little bit of Daytona, and did some crazy flying on the International Speedway. So there's something that maybe you and your friends would enjoy doing. Now he's telling us to hold position because of this truck. It's like, that would never happen. They would always wait for us. I think this guy is actually here to park us. He sure is. Look at that. Actually have some assistance here. All right. First thing we're gonna do is basically just everything in reverse, avionics off. We can pull out our mixture. It's interesting that it goes to the logbook when you finish your flight. That's cool. I haven't seen that yet. Just turn off the mags, turn off the landing lights, battery, and then the fuel, you could just leave it where it's at. This, I guess, would be shutting it off, closing it, but you don't have to do that. And that's really it. It's a pretty simple aircraft. Again, if you need help starting up, you can go to these checklists, and I think that's really cool because eventually you keep doing that and you'll memorize each airplane for how to start it up without having help. I have so many ideas I want to do with the simulator. It is so much freaking fun. So stay tuned for more videos. I'm pretty much just making these in my spare time right now, so I appreciate all the support on my channel so I can do more of this and spend more time on it, put out more videos for you guys. Nice beautiful view here, New Smyrna Beach, very close to home for me. This is, New Smyrna is like where I grew up, so pretty cool. Actually, I did fly in to this airport one time when I was getting my private pilot's license in St. Augustine. I flew down to the New Smyrna Beach Airport, transitioned through Daytona on approach, and then into New Smyrna and stayed in the pattern. I did about 5 laps in the pattern and then flew back to St. Augustine when I was training to get my license. I like to show you how that works in real life instead of on the simulator. There's certain things that I'd like to, educational things I'd like to do on the simulator that I think would be great on the simulator. But again, the ATC is not one of them, and the radio is a big part of flying. So I want to check out VATSIM and see how that goes. Let me know if you have any questions too. I'm happy to answer any questions, anything. There's no dumb question in aviation. If you're starting out, I'm happy to answer all of them. Don't hesitate to ask. Just put it in the comments. Thanks for being so awesome. Have an awesome day. Time to go make another video.